Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel today. I want to discuss something a little bit different about the channel today, an idea I've come up with. So I'm going to swing into this roadside rest area here and we'll discuss it. That way I'll be out of the way of any cars coming along, and we'll just take the Honda Forza 350 through here, pull up just over there where that, we'll just pull up over into this post. Looks like this has been well used lately too. So I think we'll just park it here and then discuss what I've got in mind. So let me just dismount, and I'll put it on an area this time where it's not liable to fall over, which was a bit of a boo-boo last time. So I've got the wheel faced in one direction, that should get rid of that. Okay guys, it's pretty quiet here at the moment, so what I've got in mind now I'll put to you. So let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see a 10-part series on this bike on the 350 forum. But to make it a little bit different, I'm thinking of doing, say, a few pit stops along the way, one on each episode, where I'll go out of my way, pull out in a place like this and do a bit of cooking. Now I really haven't got that long to get this all together because it's warming up here now in Australia. It'll soon be getting a little bit hot to go out and do it. And apart from that, fire band will be on. So I can already notice out here now it's fairly warm compared to where I come from, back in town there. And it's a few degrees out here, so it won't be long before you're not allowed to put up, or there'll be a total fire ban, you won't be able to do anything. So the idea is, if you like the idea of me going out, doing a 10-part series on the bike, I'll be going to all different places. Like I was thinking of taking the bike down to an area where I know quite a few years back I ended up paying a bit of gold there with an old guy. And the only difference now I am the old guy and he's passed on. But that bit aside, I could go there. We found gold there that way, not much but fine stuff, but that'd be something interesting. The other thing I was thinking of, I might take this bike for a bit of a run around Mount Panorama race circuit. So it's a public track during the year and they only close it for the race season. And that should be really interesting because it's a 6.2 kilometre track. And that'd be a one I'm thinking I'll do too. So I'll probably take this bike on a more off-road venture too, so that should be okay. In the cooking side, well, like I said, I've just pulled into this roadside area here, and there are quite a few of these scattered around, apart from that rubbish over there. And as far as the cooking goes, well, I was thinking I might do it with several stoves, and all the outdoors ones, and use different methods of lighting the stoves. And I've got, I think, about half a dozen different stoves I can use, and I'll make sure that I don't rotate. I'll make sure I will rotate and do a new stove in each series I come out and do this cook along the road. So what I'm planning on doing would be, I'll think, oh yeah, I might be able to pull in here and on a day like this and whip up a pizza, so that'd be all right. The thing. The other thing I could do is do a cook a steak, but instead of cooking the steak on the campfire, I'll just warm up the fire itself, and then we'll cook the steak on a rock. So that should be something a little bit different there. So these are a few of the things I'm thinking of, and it all depends on, the only way I'll know for sure what goes on is if you guys put a comment in, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, by all means please do, and we'll see what happens in that line. But I think the idea sounds all right, and it should be fairly interesting, but I've only got a limited time to put this together due to fire season coming shortly, and after that they won't let you out here. We've only been in lockdown a short period of time, but I've noticed now, you can see how long the grass is here now, and it's green, but it won't be long before it's dead, and after that it's a real danger period. So that's something for you guys to think about. So while we're at it, I might just pull them out. I've got them in the undercover storage under the seat. I've got several stoves there you can look at, from cheap and nasty and up until, you know, really good quality ones that should go well. So on the days when I go out, I'll be using different sorts of fuel, whether it'll be metho, solid, natural, and the propane gas. I've got one of those, so I'll just bring them out and show you what I've got and what we're going to do. I won't light them up today because, like I said, I don't want to attract any attention here with lighting fires, but I'll give you an idea. I'll also show you what's the best method, what I use in case you can't get anything to light. And that'll be a difference of weatherproof matches, or even go up to the stage where I'm going to use the old ferrule rod there to strike the flame that way. So it'll be a fair mixture of everything I can think of to put this together and make it interesting, and more importantly is they'll come back and want to look at more. So all you've got to do is put a comment there and sub to the channel if you haven't done that. It's pretty busy along this track today, so you can tell people are out now around since the lockdown's ended. But what I'll do, I'll just show you the fires or the fuel stoves I'll be using, ranging from one I just made myself out of a tomato soup can. So I made that for free, working our way up on all different ones I've got here. Okay guys, we'll just have a look at what we're going to use. So this is a high performance 3-burner butane gas stove, and it performs really well. So I've had it out on a couple of occasions and it can build it over fairly easy whatever you want to cook. So that's the 3-burner butane. Okay, so next off the mark is this little wood burner I got off eBay, and also the best thing about that one is I can also put one of the butane gas 3-jet one in there, or I can use one of the Trangia ones in there too. But this one here, I've cooked some really good meals on this particular stove, and it didn't cost me much, about $20 or so, and it performs really well. So that'll be a stove it's on. Next up is the little Trangia stove. Well, they're always run well, and I've got the full kit there, and I've used it on several occasions when I've gone inland to Northern Territory. So that's a great little performer, that one. And it can be placed inside that other fuel stove there, or in another sort of stove I've got too, because all up I think I've got about 6 or 8 stoves, so there's no shortage of stoves. So once again, it should be a really good one. All these things perform well, so that's the best thing I like about them. If they're good performers, at least you can get out and you're not let down once you get out in the great outdoors and you're stuck. So you don't want to be stuck, you want to have something to eat if you're going to have it. Now this is the cheapest of the lot. This is the tomato soup can I put together, and more importantly it works really well. I've actually cooked some good steaks, chips, sausages, everything on this particular one, and it cost me nothing. So overall, when you can get out there and know that you made something yourself and it actually worked all right, that's a bit of a bonus too. Nice and lightweight. Once again, it's only a straight out wood fire. I've never tried anything else in it. But where you're out here, where there's a lot of rubbish on the ground, you can pick up plenty of small twigs and something like that. It doesn't take long to kick off and get going, and you're in business and you've got yourself something to cook on, and it's cost you nothing. Okay, next off we'll swing into the lighting side of the fire. So this is the old standalone, the old faithful cigarette lighter you can pick up for $1.50 or $2 in the box of matches. So that's your cheapest way out of it, but it's not always the best way, and they not always perform. So you can run out of lighter fluid, and that ruins that one, and your matches could get wet or break, or you lose your striker, or some other problem goes on like that, and you're out of luck there too. So that's 2 methods we'll try. Next up are these stormproof matches. Well, they're a bit on the tad, you could say they're expensive to buy, but more importantly, they're really bullet performers. They'll perform under any conditions, they'll strike up. Doesn't matter if it's windy, doesn't matter if they get wet, anything that the element can throw at it, these ones will perform and perform well. I think these are the best standby for anything, and I've used these for the last year or so in different areas when I've been riding the bike. And best thing about, they never let you down. Well, so far they've never let me down, so we'll be trying them out too. Now while we're at it, there's plenty of times you get out there and you can't get your fire started because it just keeps going out. Well, here's a foolproof method. All you do is get some cotton wool, smear it with Vaseline, and then just cut an old drinking straw tube to around about 1.5 inches, something like that. Poke your saturated cotton wool balls in there like that, and there's no risk, no trouble whatsoever striking that. So it's a dead set certainty. If you get into a jam, even if it's a little bit windy, it'll light regardless. So another thing we're going to use is this ferrule rod, the point type rod, where you can get out there and kids are going back 100 odd years and you're out there striking and you camped under a tree and you want to make a fire, and this is the only source you've got. I find this one here, it's been a really good performer, throws a good spark. I can always get a fire going with it, and sometimes the satisfaction getting out in the scrub and making a fire or pulling over on a roadside rest stop, or this isn't even a roadside rest stop, this is just some area they've set aside and people have decided to pull in here and use it and dump rubbish. But apart from that, these are sort of things that perform well all the time, and you can get out there and you get a lot of satisfaction if you can compare to if you go to a match or cigarette lighter. If you go to one of these and strike it up and then get it going yourself, you know, a real feeling of achievement. And this one here works really well, so there's no trouble whatsoever, and I can sort of kick it into gear and get a fire going with it, no trouble. So that's another good thing. Okay guys, if you like the idea of me taking this Forza out, doing a 10 clip adventure run on the bike, throwing in some cooking stuff too, just leave a note and a comment there, and I'll have a look at it, see what you reckon and whether we should get into this idea or not. And hopefully I think I can put something together that you'll be interested in watching. So once again, thanks for tuning in, taking a look.